Hello everyone and welcome to our web scraping course with Python and Beautiful Soup. In this course we're going to learn the basics of how to scrape a web page with Beautiful Soup. First up, we need to know what is web scraping and why is it such a valuable, important skill. Alright, well, web scraping. This is also known as automated web data extraction. So we are going to learn how we can extract data from the web really fast. That's why it's called automated. Let's jump right into talking about some project examples, some practical real-world case scenarios that use web scraping. Web scraping is very commonly used for all sorts of industries. For example, in price comparison sites, where these websites get prices of a different item from across the web and then compare prices. That requires web scraping because you have to be able to automate the process of getting the cost of an item on all different sites and being able to find the best price. So often in retail, web scraping. As well, next up, competitive intelligence. With web scraping, you can get data about your business competitors, such as their pricing, their product offerings, and you can do this really fast. And as well, you can quickly turn it into a data set that you can visualize. So rather than manually looking at your competitors, you can very quickly get a spreadsheet and a visual of exactly what they're doing across different aspects like pricing and offerings. Furthermore, with sentiment analysis, web scraping is very commonly used. This is where you collect reviews or any kind of social media data to analyze how people are feeling about a product or a topic. As well, in real estate, often you'll scrape website data for data analysis or for building machine learning models. So web scraping is very commonly seen in automation and also with data science and machine learning because you need to get data somehow, and oftentimes you need to web scrape in order to collect data. Without data like location or price or the year that a piece of real estate was built, you wouldn't be able to have enough of a data set to actually perform analysis or to build machine learning models. As well, for news aggregation, like websites that gather a bunch of articles from the web and put it onto their one site. Any kind of aggregation across the internet, that needs web scraping. For example, hotels. You can also scrape hotel prices and images and aggregate them all onto one site. That's all using web scraping. So why is web scraping so commonly used and why do you need to know it? Well, web scraping saves huge amounts of time and resources because it's part of automation. It allows you to collect data very quickly for all kinds of projects or to help you determine your business strategy or to see how people are feeling about your latest product. As well, web scraping is a key fundamental part of automation, data science, and machine learning because, again, it allows you to collect data. There are two steps to web scraping. First step is optional, known as crawling. This is where a spider program searches for content on the web by following links and exploring. So that is where you are searching for content. Then the second part is actually the scraper itself. This is where you extract data from web pages. If there's an API available for the web, that's an even better alternative. A lot of websites that don't want you to scrape on them, they'll open up their API instead, their application programming interface, which allows you to do the same thing as scraping, but via their API instead, and that's often a lot more convenient. But with a lot of sites, they don't have an API, and also for a lot of projects that you're building or businesses that you want to start, there won't be APIs available for what you want to do. So to accomplish your specific task, you'll often need to scrape. Let's talk about the general process for web scraping. Step 1, you obtain your web URL and you download that web page. So you actually find the site that you want to scrape. This can also be multiple sites. And you can either use the Python requests library or you can just get the source code for the site. Step 2, let's jump into step 2 of web scraping. You parse downloaded data into a parser, either an HTML parser or the Beautiful Soup library. So you have to actually take that data and be able to parse it or translate it. And this is where the Beautiful Soup library is going to come in handy, and this is what we're going to learn how to do in this course. This is a key step that makes data readable and structured. And then step 3, you have to save the data. You can either store it as a CSV file, a JSON file, or a SQL database. You can also build a Pandas data frame. There are many different options for saving your data. This is after it's been parsed. You can save it and put it to use wherever you want. And that is web scraping. Web scraping is a fundamental tool that you should know how to do. It's going to save you a lot of time for different projects, and you'll find it's going to be required very often if you have any project that involves the web. Or even if you're building data science and machine learning models, you'll need to web scrape to collect the data for your unique project. All right, congratulations on this one lecture, and I'll see you in the next lecture. We are going to talk about the few requirements that you'll need to take this course.